Hey everybody, good afternoon. It is afternoon now. It's after 3. The kids are out of school. It's Thanksgiving break, and it's so easy to lose track of time when I'm not constantly having to look at my watch to see like how much time of the day do I have left before I have to go get the kids, right? So, have you ever heard the quote that it's the start that stops most people? I was reading it earlier today, and I was just thinking, wow, how true is that? And I've experienced it myself. A lot of you probably know me from the gym now. You've met me as, Angel Balance fitness instructor or just Angel fitness instructor. I teach Turbo Kick, I teach PiYo and P90X. I'm size certified. I'm also Core to Force certified. But, it was like, just little secret here. It was just a year ago that wasn't me. I wasn't that instructor, but I had to overcome this fear of starting just like everybody else. A little backstory. You may be surprised. Some of you know me from 5-6 years ago. I was in ministry. I was a ministry leader, and I was up teaching. It was nothing for me to get up behind the podium and teach on a Sunday morning at a women's ministry, or women's study time, or in the prison once a month, or even once every couple of weeks sometimes. And I've served in so many different aspects of ministry during the time that we were in Louisiana, that many people, I think, then would look at me now and be like, what is she doing? She's teaching fitness. And so it was a huge step for me to take. It was different. It was new. And so I think that's the same thing with everybody. You think about starting something new, but then you're like, wait a second, this is unfamiliar. This is different. It feels weird when you start doing it, when you're putting yourself out there in a new and different kind of way. And so the safest feeling kind of thing to do is to just not start at all, right? Not do anything. And so but it's just like I had to do in fitness. It's like, it's for anything. You stop allowing that fear to stop you by just starting small and regularly engaging in the activities. So I'm a huge believer in taking baby steps. And in fact, it was kind of how I started being healthy. I was like this big, healthy eating rebel for a long time. I've shared this many times that, I just wanted to have as much cheesecake whenever and however I wanted, because I had previously put myself in a position where I deprived myself of anything and everything enjoyable to eat. And so I just wanted nothing to do with that kind of world. But then ultimately, I found myself in a place where I was like, okay, I got to lose like 40, 50 pounds. What am I going to do? And so I had to do something. And what I have found works best for me in any situation like that, where it's like, I don't know what to do and I don't know where to start, and it's overwhelming, is to just take that first small step. And so instead of like doing cold turkey and quitting something altogether, I would much rather start with just adding something in and just conquer that one small thing first. So, if it's like, to start small, if it's eating, it would be like, I'm going to add, if I know that, I struggle with vegetables, maybe I add in, one extra vegetable every day. And that's where I start. I don't worry about cutting out bread. I don't worry about cutting out desserts. I don't worry about any other stuff. I just add that one little thing in, right? And so that's with anything. So even if it's not eating. So but then let me show you the funny part about being me being a fitness instructor now, when, like I said, like a year ago, it wasn't even my life. It wasn't. I was doing, my workouts at home, and like I was like I don't want anything to do with the gym life. It's foreign to me. I've never been in that position, in that kind of place before. It'd be very intimidating, and I was very self-conscious. I don't want anybody looking at me, and so I just was like, that's just not my life. That's not what I want. But at the same time, for a year prior, I had kind of found this new kind of passion for feeling like I was finally empowered over my body and feeling like, okay, I can do this. I can get fit. I can get strong. And so I thought, I might want to share this. As with anything, when you get really passionate about something, it's like you can't help yourself to want to share it with other people. I see Rick Oakes on here, and he's like, and I know him. I know him from when we were looking to get this home, and so he is full of this of all kinds of knowledge and experience that I'm sure if you got him at the table, he would not be able to help himself, but to share it with you if you were talking about, I just don't know about that, or I don't know how, where would I even start? He would just, out of the overflow of his heart, he would start to share with you from his own experience and know-how. And it was because it's an area that he's already applied himself and conquered. And so that's for anything in life. I could take that and apply it to anything. So back to my story about fitness, I didn't want anything to do with it. But because I kind of was like, wow, this feels really great. I finally feel like I'm kind of in control over my health and my body and my abilities. A lot of my story came from, not being able to even hold plank for like 30 seconds. I mean, I was injured and lots of weakness in my body. And when I started feeling strong again and I started, losing the weight, I was just kind of like, wow, I'm actually really in control. Wonder how many other moms are like me, where they were at this place where, they're in this place thinking that could never be me. And I had to, it was a really scary thing for me, but I was like, I think I might want to teach. I think I might want to teach fitness. I wanted to start with the formats that I first fell in love with. I thought I would never love cardio, and I wound up falling in love with PiYo and TurboKick. And PiYo actually kind of helped connect me to one of my first loves, which was dance. Just the feeling that I got from dance and being in rhythmic movement with music. So I was like, it tapped into a part of me that got me excited enough that I felt like I wanted to share with other people. And that was terrifying to me. I was like, sure, I can stand up and I could talk for 30 minutes probably about one scripture because I've been doing that and I was comfortable with that. But, and you put me in a circle of mommies and I could talk forever and ever about all my experiences with my kids and how we overcame challenges as parents and first time parents and stuff. But fitness, to be in front of a bunch of people, like they'd be, what if they critique me because, I'm getting stuff wrong, and I still feel very weird and, out of control with some things, or not like whatever. So I was like, well, the only way that I'm going to master this is to actually start engaging in the activity. So I started, I actually kind of did this one a little bit backwards. Funny story, my husband kind of signed me up because he, without me knowing, kind of said, okay, you're signed up, go do it, and told me to go for it even when I wasn't ready. But I was like, okay, well, I'll pay for it, but it's still several months out and whatever. But it lit a fire under me, and I just decided I'm just going to start going to the gym. I'm not going to worry about teaching it yet. I'm going to start with this one small step, and I started showing up to classes. I was smart about it. I found somebody who I could trust, who was already doing it, and I wanted to be able to do it in the manner that they were doing it. And so I started showing up to their classes and learning from the people that I wanted to learn from. And along the way, there was more than one person. But I just decided this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to find someone who's doing what I want to be doing, and I'm just going to start showing up every day to learn from them and continuing to engage in the same activities that I see them doing. And voila, it happened, because once I started to get more comfortable step by step by step. The fear of starting to do it on my own slowly over time just dissipated, because I was conquering everything that I needed to know about that one big thing little by little. So, and then before I knew it, I was like, yes, I can do this. I can totally do this. I can teach. Now I was more scared of the audition, you know, so than I was of teaching by the time it came to audition time. And then but I tackled that the same way. I went to someone who had already lived through it. I said, what, and I crammed the knowledge in my head of everything that I needed to know. And then I said, okay, I'm going to tackle these one by one by one. And then scheduled the audition, showed up for it, and got hired. And, you know, and from there, I knew that from there, I just needed to continue to serve out of my heart passion for what it was that I was doing and the why that I originally wanted to do it. So I'm here to tell you that from that moment, when I first signed on to become an instructor, you know, people were like, oh my God, you went from teaching 0 classes to teaching like, I honest to God, I was teaching 8, and then I was teaching like 11, and then I think at one point I was teaching like 11 classes a week, and it was crazy. Now I'm down to a more manageable number 2. But in the beginning, I was just like, I finally conquered this fear. I got over it, over myself, really. I stopped fear from stopping me. Now I'm going to totally immerse myself in it, and I'm just going to work out all those jitters. And I want that, because I wanted that gym to feel like I wanted the mic on my head, my voice going through the microphone, my interaction with the people in my classes, the energy that I had to project, the cueing, with the musicality of my movements and my voice and everything. I wanted everything to be like second nature. I didn't want to have my fear in my head always stopping me. So I was like, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to conquer it. And class by class, bite-sized piece by bite-sized piece, that's how I did it. So I'm here to encourage you, whatever it is that, because it's unknown, it's unfamiliar, it doesn't feel comfortable, it takes applying yourself one little step at a time. Just conquer that first little step, that first little bite-sized nugget before you move on to the next. And before you know it, you'll be totally immersed in it. It'll feel like second nature, and you'll be totally rocking at it. So if you have anything that you would like for me to share in the days, weeks, months ahead, that is fitness, nutrition, mindset related, or even motherhood related, please drop it below, and I would love to be able to continue coming on here and sharing with you whatever I can that will help you stop fear from stopping you. All right, bye guys.